Well, hello everybody. Blair Nightingale here with Dave Huber.
What's up?
We're going live, little impromptu today. It's the beautiful thing about what we do here. The market's open. We get to come on. You guys get to join us. Real-time data. We got a lot going on in the market, so we wanted to come out and talk about some of that, some of the ways that we've been teaching people how to trade, learning how to navigate these situations. So we're going to get right into it. Dave, how you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent. You know, everybody's wondering what's going to happen in the market now that we've got government shutdown coming up. As of midnight tonight, the government could just shut down. What does that mean? What does that mean for you as a trader? For those of you who are not traders and you're going, well, what does that mean just me personally? This live stream is going to help give you a little bit of understanding of what happens during a government shutdown and what that could mean for your investments. So I'm excited. Let's do this, Blair. Let's get into it.
We got people lighting up the chat. If you're here, listen, if you're a Tradeway student, you are already a student of Tradeway, which means you're a student of the market. Go ahead, drop a comment there. Let us know who you are. Listen, if you're here, we got 10,000 some YouTube followers. If you're here and you've been watching us and you're learning or you're interested in what's the stock market, what is Tradeway all about, go ahead, drop a comment in there as well. Let us know. Let us know that you're here. Give us your name. I sent out, looks like my notes are not getting to our Facebook friends. So we're in different platforms as we speak. So to my Facebook friends, I've sent that out as well. We'll see if that goes through. It says it's going to take a second. So, okay. Most of us probably know, okay. The stock market, here's myth number one about the stock market. We don't believe that the news matters all that much when it comes to the stock market. Now,
Some news matters, right?
Exactly. I was going to say, now, it's not that we believe no news matters, okay? But most news doesn't matter. Dave and I talk about this quite a bit. When people are interested, even somewhat, in the stock market, okay, there's a couple things they do. Number one, they go to the news. What's the business model for the news? Get you to click, get you to read. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it doesn't necessarily matter to you when it comes to multiplying your money, which is the goal, right? Let's cut down right to it. Multiplying your money is the goal. By the way, trading is not guessing. It's not gambling. And it's not just going for it. It's not just winging it. So if anybody's ever talked to you before and said, that's just one big casino, we don't believe that. That's not what trading is. You can gamble in the market, but that's not what we do here. That's not trading. So news outlets want you to read, and then they want you to read something else and something else and something else. Why? Because that's how they make money. When you click.
In case you haven't noticed, when the news outlets come out with their news, you've got news saying, oh, it's going to go up. You've got news saying, oh, it's going to go down. And they both have these wonderful reasons why they're both right, right? So it's like, if you spend too much time reading market news, you will be left guessing, gambling, and going for it. And so one of the things that we want to do here is bring a little bit of clarity as to what news actually matters. We won't get into all the nitty gritty, but there is one item that is on everybody's minds, and that is the government shutdown. Is that an important news item? Well, it sure sounds like it.
Well, that's one of the things that we teach, okay? We teach our students how to navigate this for two reasons. One, we want you to make decisions based on the right information, which, again, is not usually news at all, okay? But we do teach there's usually one main news item, okay? Usually one. This isn't like crystal ball, super secret. It's just in our community, we're talking and looking at the market. Dave and I are licensed coaches with our Tradeway students, right? So we look at the market and go, okay, there's probably one main thing that the market is focused on, which, by the way, sometimes isn't the thing people think it is. Right now, however, it is more so looking at the government shutdown. So what does this even mean, Dave? What does government shutdown mean? And we're going to actually look at a chart of the stock market here.
Well, yeah. So the government has to spend the money that they are given through our tax dollars. And if they can't come up with a plan on how to spend it, and they can't agree on the plan and put that plan into place, then they start going, okay, we can't do anything until we come to an agreement. So they don't come to that agreement. Essentially, here's what happens. They start shutting down what they're doing. You go, wait a minute, what does that mean? Like that's a lot, right? Well, they're ironically, most of the government just keeps on moving like nothing ever happened. But there are non-essential parts of the government, things that are nice to haves as opposed to have to haves, that they begin to start shutting down until they can come to an agreement on the spending. Now, what happens most of the time is once they come to an agreement, maybe it's after the deadline, then they often will do some back pay to the people who didn't get paid because of the shutdown. So here's what it looks like. As of midnight tonight, if they don't come to an agreement, then they're going to start shutting things down. They'll start with things like the park rangers and such. They're going to start shutting down the parks. You'll remember this happened back in Obama's tenure. He actually
remember that. Yeah.
And it create this big uproar and stuff, but that's the way it's supposed to be done. And so then they'll start going, okay, let's talk about how can we come to an agreement. And that might last a day. It might last 2 days. It could last longer. This is not new to the market. This has happened quite a few times. Often, if they miss their deadline, it's by the next day or 2 days later, they've come to an agreement. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it's 13 days later, or I think the longest was like 35 days later. And so what happens is then they start saying, okay, we've come to an agreement, and now we got to start back paying all the people that didn't get paid during the shutdown. However, there's something a little different about this shutdown, and that is we have President Trump in charge. And President Trump likes to march to the beat of his own drum and do things his own way. And one thing that he is floating the idea of out there is I'm going to start firing people.
He likes to just blow things up.
I like the sound effect there. Yeah. He likes to just blow things up sometimes. And guys, that's not always a bad idea, because think about what's happening. We need our government to keep running. We need them to come to an agreement. And if you're in a standoff, sometimes something drastic has to happen. Now, am I saying that's a good idea? Let's just start firing people? Not necessarily. We don't know who he wants to fire yet, right? And when he starts trying to do something like that, I promise you there will be lawsuits slapped against him. So what does this do for us as traders? Let's get to the point, because we can talk about all the nitty gritty about the timeline and stuff, but what it really means is uncertainty.
Yeah.
And the market does not like uncertainty.
Let me say this, because what's our goal here at Tradeway? Everything we do. I mean, ultimately, our goal is to help people understand how to use the stock market. I'm sorry, I'm looking over here because I've got two screens. My camera's up here. Our goal is to help you learn how to protect your money that's in the stock market, okay, and how to make money in the stock market. Blair, is it possible? Do people make money in the stock market? Is it a learnable skill? Right? Now, I said earlier, if you're a student, let us know. If you're not, let us know, So we've got lots of people on here. You're part of our programs, different things we do here at Tradeway, and you're learning. It's a step-by-step skill set. You actually implement, okay, I learned this thing, I do that. I learned this thing, I do that. It's not about knowing the future. There is no knowing the future. We're here, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn right now. There's tons of people on here, and they want you to listen and come in, and they're the guru, and they're going to know the future. Dave and I don't do that. That's not what we do here. And we've got students on here. You guys can comment if you'd like to chime in. We don't talk like that. That's not what we do here. We teach you a step-by-step approach to have high probability trades so that you can look to grow your money in the stock market using something that's very practical. So just want to say we don't do that.
And I like that you say that too, because here's the reality, guys. If a government shutdown is going to bring about uncertainty, right? Markets hate that. But notice how Blair's talking. We don't need to know what the market's going to do. we can be certain about what we are going to do. Just because there is uncertainty in the market doesn't mean there needs to be uncertainty in your trading. And so one of the things that we like to say is we don't care what the market's going to do. We know what we're going to do, and we plan accordingly. And so I see that you're going to share something here, Blair. Go ahead and show us a little bit about what's going on currently in the market.
Here's one of the things I want you guys to see. Okay. So you've got people even chiming in the chat right now. And right now, like, oh, government shutdown. Let me ask you, how many people think of the stock market and you just feel totally powerless?
Yeah, a lot of
like,
people.
and maybe you don't think about it very often, but it's like, well, if I could make money pushing buttons in the stock market, that of course that would be awesome. Okay. Some of you guys, and I know this because I've talked to people on the phone who are interested in knowing kind of what we do here. And you've been trading, but you have no system. You have no system, no rhyme or reason. Maybe a little bit. I've talked to people, hey, I've got this thing where they tell me when to trigger trades, but literally you have no idea why they even trigger what they trigger. And maybe it's the opposite of what the market's doing. You're just completely dependent on them. And so then you're just getting in and getting out.
And a lot of people, their system is to read a lot of market news and go, okay, which market news is more convincing? And that's it. Like I am seeing a whole lot more news saying that the market's going to crash than I am that it's going to go up. So I'm going to position myself for a crash, or I think it's going up because I read a whole bunch of positive articles that say, so what if there's a government shutdown? It's going to be fine. So I'm going to position myself to buy the dip. And they don't even know what the dip looks like or how it works. It's just, I think it's dipping because
it's just down. It's just down from where it was, And so like knowing that we can do better than that.
Right. Yep.
But we don't need to know the future. Okay. We can do better than that. Well, how? Well, let's take a look at something here. And just know that once we are learning what traders do, okay, and really, we like to say there are 4 main skills. Okay, this is not marketing. There are 4 main skills that we have learned in training tens of thousands of people since 2009. Okay, these are the 4 main skills. There are some things within those skills that we've got to master, of course, but as a whole, covering the skill of trading, you've got to have these 4 things. And one of them, okay, is really understanding how we identify, I think my camera shut off on us here, is how we identify where the market is turning, and this is what turns that powerless feeling of the stock market. Either I'd love to be a part of it, but I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible for me. Those are the kinds of statements I hear. To being somebody who's even with us on this webinar, who's been training with us. In fact, I see some names on here that were on our opening bell show earlier this morning. Me and another coach, we came on for an hour at the open of the market, right? We just looked at the live market right before it opened and right after. It's turning anxiety into opportunity. I can see comments in the chat already. You're going, hey, if this thing melts down, great. Not because we want the economy to melt down, but traders understand that whether it's going up or going down, there's something you and I can do, but not if we don't know those 4 main things. Okay. Yeah. There is a bench that we can sit on. There is a sideline. It's just, we don't have to sit on that. So let me just share this quick thing here, Dave.
Sure.
Okay.
Your camera's still not on, by the way.
What's that?
Your camera's still not working, by the way.
Oh. Let me do this.
There it is.
So, okay, I want you to notice this, guys. Okay, this comes into this line, goes up to the other one, back to this one, up to the other one, back down. You say, well, it goes a little below. Yep, it does. Goes a little below here, back up, down, back up, down, back up. And I don't want to get too technical here, but if I add in these lines here, which is a tool we use on our software, I'm going to actually just do this quick. Then it actually makes it even easier to see. Now I'm going to get rid of a couple of them just to highlight something. It goes down to the white line, bounces up, down to the white line, bounces up, down to the white line, bounces up. Dave, it's amazing how many people I talk to, okay, because they reach out to Tradeway. Hey, I'm doing some trading. I'm trying some day trading. I'm trying Forex. I'm trying crypto. I'm trying the stock market. I'm not trying it, but I sure would like to be trying it. All walks of life. And they have zero idea that they can pull up a chart. Okay. Some of you guys are intimidated that I even have a chart on the screen.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, hold on. What is this?
I get that because I had never looked at a stock chart 10 years ago. Okay. For myself, I had never done that. I never thought in a million years I would learn how to read a stock chart. Okay. Now, I'm just saying, let's keep it real simple here. Okay. And I'm actually going to go here for a second. It's just moving like a wave off the same level over and over and over again. True story, Dave. Dave doesn't know this. I've been talking to one of our other coaches today in text about how the market right now, the smaller time frames of the market, meaning we're kind of zooming in on the price for the day. The chart I just showed you was about 6 months. Okay. Right. But if we were just looking at today, it's just going sideways. It just keeps bouncing the same point.
And I'm glad
6,700, 6,700, 6,700, 6,700, 6,700. It just keeps doing the same thing. Guys, if I said square, square, circle, square, square, circle, square, square, what would you say?
Circle.
You say, well, the stock market can't possibly be that simple. Well, understanding the basis of how traders make decisions really is that simple.
Well, and here's the thing is like, if you read an article and expect to know when to buy and sell based on the article, you're actually, most of the time, you're behind the 8 ball. Like you're literally behind the times, because often what you're reading in market news is you're reading somebody's explanation about why the chart's doing what it's doing. What if you could figure out what the chart's doing without ever looking at news, and you could begin to see the square, square, circle, square, square, circle, like you said, and go, oh, okay, I think I'm seeing something there that tends to repeat. Is it a guarantee? No, but why does it repeat? Well, because people are creatures of habit, and people are the ones buying and selling the stock. And so then you begin to understand what news out there, because you can see the actions of buyers and sellers. You can begin to understand what news out there is literally just noise. It's just out there trying to explain something that you can see for yourself on the chart. And then there are some news items that actually matter. And so let's get back to the government shutdown for just a second about why that's important. One thing that it does, specifically in the trading realm, is they begin to shut down parts of the government that report important numbers to traders, right? So like you've heard of inflation numbers and unemployment numbers, things of that nature. Like those are things that are important for us as traders to understand. It's like what's going on behind the chart, right? So the chart's important. That's one of the skills that Blair is talking about. Other things that are important, other skills that you need, are understanding the why behind the chart. And so there are some news items that actually matter. Employment numbers, inflation numbers, things of that nature actually matter. But because we're heading into a government shutdown, here's what's going to happen. They're going to stop collecting data on those numbers, and they're going to stop reporting data on those numbers. So what does that mean? Well, they have collected the data all the way up until essentially today. But once the midnight deadline hits, they will not collect data tomorrow or the next day, depending on how long the government stays shut down. Well, what does that mean? Well, first, they won't be reporting on the data that they've collected up until today. So now we have to fly a little bit blind. That's where the uncertainty comes into play. Man, it's uncertain. So you go, okay, well, I don't know. What are the inflation numbers looking like for September? What are the unemployment numbers looking like for September? They're not going to tell us for a little while. And then As they do start to reopen the government, once they reach a deal, and they always have, hopefully they will, once that opens back up, now we've got a new dynamic in that they haven't been collecting data for a few days, which could mess up the integrity of the data once we get it a little bit later. So that does create a little bit of a problem for traders. So what do we do about that? Well, first off, we have to understand a little bit about how the market works. What are the things that are going on behind the price and behind the chart? And that's something that we help our students understand as we go through our classes and such. I will say this, Blair, something that's coming up a lot is, well, what about bonds? Well, bonds are something that people move away from stocks and into bonds in times of uncertainty. So because we've got some uncertain uncharted waters ahead of us, kind of uncharted, I should say. It's only uncharted in that Donald Trump might start firing people. Other than that, this is not something new to the market. This has happened before. But let's say it becomes something new. Let's say he starts firing people and we go, okay, this is a little different. We're not used to this. You still have to understand, what do investors and traders do during those times? They often look for safe haven investments, and bonds are one of those that are considered to be a safer investment. Now, what does that mean? Am I telling you go out and buy some bonds right now? Not necessarily. I'm just saying that because we've recently lowered interest rates, we've had one interest rate cut, that's going to tell investors that bonds have reached their peak on interest rates. And what is that? That means I can make a lot of money when bonds interest rates are nice and high, but they have cut them now, which means they're going to start coming down. That tells me as a trader or an investor that that's about as high a bond rate as I'm going to get. So it might be a good time to move over to it. So that's what we start looking for as traders. We go, okay, are we going to see a mass exodus of the market? If we do, we might be thrown into a bear market. That scares a lot of people, Blair, but it doesn't have to be scary because you could be prepared for a bear.
Look at this. Well, okay, so first of all, that's another example of trader anxiety to opportunity. Again, I'll keep saying this. It's not marketing, okay? Anything that you might be kind of afraid of or feel like, I don't know. I just hope the news comes on and tells me that the market's going up so that I feel good about the economy or maybe my investments, my 401k, whatever, right? If you understand even a little bit more on what to do, it can shift the way that you perceive the information, and it does move us from anxiety to opportunity. Powerlessness always elicits some form of anxiety, either because it's a fear of missing out or a fear of pain, so all these things matter. So when Dave says there's some things we can do, we got people in the chat. I wanted to say this. Where is this? I want to make sure I get this right. I'm a student praying that God can use this shutdown as a way to multiply money for the kingdom. Well, how? Because Amanda is learning that if the market goes up, okay, there's things we can do. If it goes down, there's things we can do. We can profit, right? We have the potential to do so when the market moves down. And we like to say the stairs, or the stock market tends to take the stairs up and the elevator down. So while the rest of the world is fearing, traders are going, whoa, fear tends to be a stronger emotion in the market. And that means things flush pretty quickly.
It's pretty incredible.
Very, very helpful.
It's incredible to see someone with that kind of mentality. I like that, Amanda. Thank you for that comment, because it shows what you're talking about there, Blair. It's empowerment, right? Like, prior to understanding something like that, it is really very normal for people to look at a market crash and freak out, like, because it's always portrayed as something that's really freaky, something that's really scary, something that you should not like. But what most people don't understand is that a market crash is actually a normal and healthy thing for our market. It needs to happen from time to time. And so if you become empowered in what can you do to take advantage of a crash, all of a sudden it's not scary. It's exciting. It's something that you can anticipate. You can say, I'm excited and looking forward to the crash. It's not that we're praying that the market crashes and people lose their jobs and things of that nature, but more that we no longer have to walk through those seasons of life with fear and anxiety. We can walk through those seasons of life with empowerment, anticipation, and go, you know what? What does the scripture tell us? God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. So like, what does that mean? It's, you don't have fear, you have empowerment. It's exactly what Blair's talking about here. And here at Tradeway, for those of you who don't know us, we're a faith-based investment advisory firm.
I mean, here's Pastor James right here in the comments.
Hey, Pastor James, good to have you on there with us.
Give him a follow. If you guys haven't, give him a follow.
He's a good guy to follow.
There he is. There's the picture, James. You got her updated. Love it. Good to have you. Lots of good people here. Learning to recognize technicals, which is the price, the chart we're looking at. By the way, I pulled up the chart of gold here because in uncertainty and anxiety, gold tends to go up.
Yep.
Gold is going bananas right now.
Okay.
Sure is. This is not Dave and I's recommendation to go buy gold right away, although we do have opinions around gold. I'm just showing you the chart. It was really high, going sideways, and it's just taken off. So there is a growing uncertainty. We can speculate, we can guess, we can read the news, but when you learn how to read what's happening in the price chart, and you know it's not about guessing tomorrow, there's nowhere that investors can hide, because when they put their money in the market, it shows up in the chart.
Yep.
If they're doing it, you can see it. If
you can follow it
at a chart, then you're missing out on the whole thing. Which, by the way, Dave, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go here, let you continue. But I do want to throw this out for friends out there. We'll put this up a couple of times. Dave and I do a 5-day unlock the stock market challenge. We're going to teach these 4 skills, which is knowing where pivots are, knowing where profits are, understanding how to manage propaganda, which is the news, and then managing yourself, which is the person. By the way, those are the 4 main skills.
Yeah.
Okay? This isn't fluff. 4 main skills. You can join if you scan that QR code at the top. I'll put the link in the chat as well while Dave is talking.
Yeah.
Scan that. That'll take you to the page to join the challenge. It is less than $100 to do this challenge. That is dirt cheap.
Yes.
Okay. It's something because we only want students who are actually serious about learning, because we are serious about teaching. So we'll talk more about that, but that QR code is up there.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk a little bit about what that looks like. So day 1, we're actually going to pull up a chart. And for those of you who are like, it looks like rocket science, we're going to break it down and make it simple. A lot of people think trading has to be complicated. With us, it's not complicated. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break down, keep the chart simple, show you some very easy ways to understand what's going on the chart and how to know what it means when the chart's moving up or moving down. So that's going to be day 1. We're going to start learning to do what masters do. Masters don't chase momentum. Amateurs chase momentum. Masters recognize changes in momentum. And we're going to show you how to recognize those changes in momentum. Day 2, we're going to start looking behind the price. We're going to say, what makes a good investment to begin with? Like, how do I know that I'm even in a good stock, right? And so how do we trade based on the performance of the stock? And this is a skill that my family has been using for generations. I'm a 4th family business.
Sorry, Dave. I just removed you off the screen. I didn't mean to do that.
That's okay. I
want to show everybody something else on the chart here in a minute, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
You're talking about the family.
Yeah. So I'm a 5th generation entrepreneur, a 4th generation stock trader. And my kids are going to be the 5th generation stock traders. They're trading or learning to trade now. They even took this challenge. And
it's,
by
the way, is discounted right now. We've got a fall discount sale.
Okay.
Yeah, we do on the challenge. I believe it's 25% off.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have a VIP as well. If anybody wants to come on the first hour of the day, this is 2 hours a day, 5 days. That's 10 hours of coaching with Dave and I. The first hour of every day is a VIP session. Everybody gets to join. No matter who signs up gets to join that. But you get to unmute, come on camera, and get some private coaching, okay, with Dave and I. So
yeah, it's going to be lots of fun.
You have the opportunity to do that.
So day 1, we're looking at pivots. Day 2, we're looking at the profits in the performance of a company. Day 3, we're going to start looking at the propaganda. We're going to actually break down what news matters, what news doesn't, what news temporarily matters, and why is it temporary, so that you can begin to, save your time, because you won't be wasting. What do they say, Blair? If you read 15 hours or 15 minutes of stock trading news, congratulations, you've wasted 12 minutes of stock trading news.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So don't waste your life reading things that don't matter. We're going to show you what actually matters so that you can approach the market with some confidence. Day 4, we're going to start helping you know, how can I make, even if most of my trades go against me, how can I actually position myself to be profitable with most of the trades going against me? Like that's a pretty big deal.
That's a big
and
deal.
we give you some tools to help you master the person. Day 5, we put it all together and we give you your first professional stock trading strategy. It's going to be lots of fun. We'd encourage you
to learn. We're just saying right here, like, you can learn these 4 main skills. I challenge people all the time. If you're here, if you've come this far and you're still with us after 30 minutes, you're either a student already or you're interested in knowing whether or not this can work for you. Listen to some of the other students, right? They had to cross that bridge too and go, hey, let me just learn a little. Right. Yep. So here, Dave, we're looking at the S&P 500. This is the stock market, as we call it, right? This is the market. You go, I don't know what the S&P 500 is. That's okay. It's just an index. It just gives us we get to look at one screen and it tells us what the whole market essentially is doing. And we don't have to go look at a bunch of screens. We can just look at one at a time. This is today. All of this is today. You go, well, I don't really know what those red and green things are. We'll teach that. That's kind of the foundation of what we
challenge
do.
Day 1.
We do. We start it right away. And what I want to highlight here is that the market is here, goes to the top, comes to the bottom, goes to the top, comes to the bottom, goes to the top, bottom, top, bottom, top. Yeah. It just keeps doing the same thing. One of our other coaches, Kaysen, and I, we've been texting today. I've been going, man, it's just locked in a range. It just keeps doing the same thing. Do you think you could potentially learn to take advantage of that kind of information if you got comfortable with it? Okay. That's what Dave and I help people do.
Yep.
And I always challenge people, Dave, what could you do in your life if you got good at it?
Yeah. I mean, imagine waking up.
Now,
your breakfast
says, hey, will the challenge be recorded for those who can't be there for the whole thing? I spoke to a gentleman yesterday, drives a truck. Okay. He goes, I want to get out of this. I don't want to drive in the truck anymore, but I got to drive the truck. He said, I'm a week in and a week off. Right. So he'll have a week. So our challenge just so happens to be on a week when he's going to be in the truck. So yes, he can listen on some level, but he was very happy to hear we record them all. We give you access to an online community page. Think Facebook for stocks. It's not Facebook, okay? It's our own website. Only Tradeway students have access to this. So our challenge students get access to that, which gives them access to Dave and I after hours, but also the recordings. So we have lots of folks there live, but we always have folks who are watching on the recordings as well, but they still have the ability, when they watch them after hours, to send Dave and I a message, questions, comments. We have workbooks. There's also activations in those workbooks. Okay, we're going to get hands-on. Dave said we're going to build trades by the end of the week. We do.
Yep.
We do. So,
and guys, you're going to be learning the skill set that my family has been using for generations. You're learning the actual trading system that we've been using to generate generational wealth in our family. So that's one of the things that you're going to be very excited to learn about. I'll tell you this, just imagine what your life could look like if you could get up in the morning, click a few buttons, place a trade, and go off and do what God has called you to do, only to come home and find out that your money was working harder for you than you ever could for it. Because it never sleeps. It never gets sick. It never asks for a vacation. It just works and works and works and works. And so this is an excellent way for you to learn to put your money to work for you.
This is a very low risk way. There is no risk way, by the way, right? We talk about the principle, which is a God instituted, instated principle in life. Risk, return. A farmer plants the seed, they could eat the seed or they can plant the seed,
Right.
period, right? Well, it's the same thing with our money.
Yep.
So what do Dave and I do? Well, we provide a very low risk way for you to learn the 4 main skills that traders know, because you probably don't know them yet. You maybe know some of them, but you don't know all of them. And then you also get decades of wisdom, not just from Dave and I, but Dave's father-in-law built something, and his ceiling in some ways has become our floor. Mm-hmm. Now we want our ceiling to become your floor.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're saying is you learn those 4 main skills, and then you go, okay, what can I do with this? Okay. And this is definitely something where even the chart I just showed you guys, what if you got good at recognizing those patterns, right? We'll show you how to find them. Do you know that there is free tools in the stock market that if the stock market goes against you, it'll just automatically kick you out of the trade, which is a good thing, by the way. You know your risk. It's like having brakes on a car. You wouldn't want to drive a car with no brakes. If it had no brakes, of course you'd be afraid to drive the car. Well, you might be happy to know that the stock market gives you and I brakes. And Dave and I are going to show you, how do you use the brakes? And if you could, would you drive more? Would you drive at all? And I think the answer would probably be yes. Because there's things you don't know. And if you knew them, could that change what you think is possible? So we have a very low risk way for you to do this. Come in, join us. You get to spend 5 days with Dave and I. By the way, I didn't tell Dave I was going to say this, but I will say this. You will notice on the very first day of our challenge, Dave says this every time. Okay. Hey guys, guess what we're not going to do in this challenge? We're not going to sell something to you every day of the 5-day stock market challenge.
I don't like it when people do that.
Does the Tradeway have coaching programs? Of course we do. I already said that 15 times. We've got people in the chat right now. They want to learn more, and they can. But we aren't spending 5 days with you doing that. We are spending 5 days with you teaching the 4 main skills traders need to have. So we're serious about actual trading. Dave trades, I trade, our coaches trade. We are also teachers and coaches, because by the way, trading, teaching, and coaching, those are 3 different skills. Those are not all the same skill. But our coaches have those skills. So all that to say, it's a great way to do that. Roger says, hello from Roger and Peggy. Do it, everyone. These folks will never leave you alone. Okay. They will coach you by email, text, Zoom, phone. They always get back to you and help in very short order. Roger, thank you for that.
Roger.
Full disclosure, we don't solicit things like that from students. In fact, we're not allowed to do that. Okay. Right. We are not some ragtag band of people on YouTube and on the internet. Okay. We are a licensed advisory firm. You're not going to find other education that is licensed. They don't do it.
We've been around for a long time. We've been around since 2009, and we've helped tens of thousands of people get exposure to the stock market and learn the skill of trading. We're a 5th generation family business, and above and beyond all of that, the thing that we care about most is just loving people and honoring God with the business practices that we do. So, Blair, we're out of time. We're already past.
I know. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna show something else on the chart. Now, I showed you this chart already, right? Because I'm saying big picture. Okay, it's hitting, right? Yep. If you know where a stock is going to change direction, because where it's more likely to change direction because of what it's been doing, that's a foundation for us to start building out something that is high probability. There's no guarantee, but it is not the same game that gamblers with a brokerage account are playing. Just because people have a brokerage account doesn't mean they're a trader. Okay. That is not true. So by the way, the statistics around traders, I heard a lot of traders don't do well. Okay, hold on. Those in large part are people with brokerage accounts.
Not traders. That's different.
They don't have a system. I talked to him on the phone. Hey, I lost this. I lost it. Well, okay. Have you ever looked at a chart? Nope, never. What is that? What do I do? What's a moving average? I don't know. A pattern? I've never done that. Okay, hold on. You're driving a car and you didn't know there was brakes or a windshield. You just got your eyes closed and your hands on the steering wheel because you heard I could get further faster with less work. Okay, so I just want to say last thing, Dave, this chart right here, this is today. This is just today's price. It's been moving up.
A lot of opportunity right there.
Now, I know I'm speaking to some of you guys. You're really interested in day trading. You're out there. You're looking for videos, this, that, day trading, this. We're going to talk about that on the challenge. We've got some very specific things here at Tradeway around that. Okay. So if that is you, okay, it doesn't have to be, but if that is you, you are welcome. Come learn. You are diving into the deepest end of the pool when it comes to trading to start with. So I want to give you a genuine and sober invitation to our stock market challenge because, again, you are diving into the deepest waters. And there are some very specific things you need to know. Don't waste your time guessing, gambling, going for it, or not understanding kind of where you're trying to start. Okay. So there are some really important things on that front that we want to talk about.
I just shared the, well, it looks like you may have too. We just shared the link to go register for the challenge. You can also just hit that QR code at the top right with your camera phone, and that'll help you get registered for the challenge as well.
Yep.
We're out of time. We got to go.
We are. So we
might do this again. I think this is fun. I had a lot of fun with everybody. Thanks for joining us live, guys. And tomorrow, maybe we'll check back in and do another one of these and see where are we.
That's what I was going to say. So midnight tonight, guys, midnight tonight. If they don't come up with a deal, then there's a shutdown.
Yeah.
It's not that Dave and I think the stock market's going to go to zero tomorrow because of that. Okay. Now, JD Vance said last night, that's it. We're headed for a shutdown. Now, that could be political posturing on some level. That's part of the game they play. We don't really need to know that. All we need to know is today, if the stock market closes, okay, and the deal isn't done, and overnight it doesn't get done, then there's a shutdown. So if we see some short-term volatility tomorrow, what can we do with that?
Yeah.
Well, let's check back in here tomorrow in real time, pull up the market, and we'll take a look.
Let's do it. I say
that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So join us then, and we're going to keep just doing this thing through the week. All right? Yeah.
Sounds good, Blair. Thanks for being on with us, guys. And we will see you probably same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. That'll be fun.
You've got that. We're going to leave it up just for a second here. You've got that QR code on the screen. So if you guys want to scan that, the link is also in the chat as well for our YouTube and Facebook friends. And you can always find us at tradeway.com. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Dave.
See ya.